Thanks for joining us. My name is Jamie Phillip, and I'm here with the CEO and owner of CHEEMA Freight Lines, Mr. Harmon CHEEMA. Harmon, say hello.
Hello. Welcome, everybody.
Well, thank you again for joining us. We have a lot of exciting things we want to spend some time talking about. And as we get into things, we're going to set the stage by talking about a couple of key relevant issues. One of them is COVID. Past year and a half has been a real challenge for employers everywhere, not just trucking companies. But the reality is that we've had to figure out a way to navigate some of these very difficult employment things. And we've done so with great success. And in fact, this past year and a half, unlike many other industries and other employers and companies, other companies have faced layoffs, salary reductions, even closing their doors altogether. Not so at CHEEMA Freight Lines. In fact, it's been quite the opposite. Tell us a little bit about the last year and a half, Harmon.
That's right. It's been crazy times, right, to say the least. But we are so fortunate that we're in an industry where it was extremely essential. When the rest of America went home, you guys went to work, right? Our driving associates went to work, and we grew. We grew through the pandemic, and we had jobs, and we had continued to provide, right, and move America and restock the shelves.
Right. And to give you an idea of how we can really measure that, the years leading up to March of 2020, we've been tracking growth to the tune of about 50 trucks per year.
That's right.
And you would think a pandemic like we've endured would slow that down or even flatline that. Not so.
Not here.
No. So we've actually been able to maintain our growth trajectory throughout this pandemic. And last year, we were able to roll out a driver pay increase. And so we were very excited to be able to celebrate that, all because of the hard work of our driving force. And so this is one way to say thank you for helping us through a very, very challenging time in our company's history, not only globally, but here at CHEEMA Freight Lines. The other thing I want to make sure that we're all aware of is feedback. Feedback is what really makes the world go round. When I lead driver orientation, we spend a lot of bit of time actually, talking about communication and how very important it is to communicate. We have a tool, WorkHound, that allows our driving professionals to give us anonymous feedback so that they don't have to put their name on it if they don't care to, but that give us feedback from what they're seeing out there, different customer locations, what they're seeing with the equipment, what they're seeing at different terminal locations, anything and everything relative to the job, so that we might be able to hear what's going on out there and make improvements.
That's right. That's right. And that WorkHound feedback is, a big portion of why we're here today to talk about some exciting stuff that, you guys have given us the feedback. You guys have given us the ideas and told us, what you told us and we heard. So that's why we're here. So, WorkHound's a great tool. We read it. We review it every week. We have a WorkHound committee internally that we go through all the comments every week, and then we take action on them. So if you're not subscribing to our WorkHound now, Jamie, who should they reach out to figure out how to subscribe if they're not?
Very good. Great question. So if you have feedback and you want to provide it via the WorkHound tool, get a hold of anybody in driver service. That's going to be Lorena. That's going to be Pat and his team, Chris Redding, Lori Glavin, myself. Any one of us will help set you up so that you can give us that feedback through that tool. But you don't need to use that tool specifically. I mean, direct feedback is also always encouraged and welcome. You can send us a quick note, get either Harmon or myself on the phone. That feedback, no matter how it comes to us, is what gives legs to some of this critical stuff that we're about to talk about. So keep that feedback coming. If you haven't had a chance to give us any of that input, don't be shy, because this is the first of many exciting things to come.
Yeah, that's right. This is our very first company update. We really don't have a name yet, but rest assured we'll have a cool name coming up pretty soon, right? I was thinking just calling it on top of the shop here at CHEEMA, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. So stay tuned. We're going to be coming to you guys many more times, more regularly, to continue to bridge that communication gap and have that transparency and communication with our driving force out there. So let's get started, shall we?
Yeah, very good. So again, because of the great work you guys did during this pandemic and the great feedback you provided for us throughout, we're about to endeavor into some pretty special things that we're going to announce. But I want to also talk about a fleet overview. I want to talk about the different fleet offerings that are available to CHEEMA driving associates or potential future drivers for CHEEMA Freight Lines.
Yeah, so we've got a few different fleet opportunities for drivers out there, for our current drivers and any new drivers that are looking to come on board. We've got our traditional over-the-road fleets, not traditionally like you would think, right? But we're a regional carrier. We operate pretty much in the western states, primarily Washington, Oregon, California, and Arizona. And we've got some runs, from Washington to Arizona on the longer side, and those can cut through the desert. But we've got our I-5 corridor fleet. We've got our Southwest regional fleet. So the I-5 corridor fleet will keep you pretty much just like it sounds on the I-5 corridor, all the way down to Southern California and back up to the Northwest. Or if you don't like Southern California, keep you in Central and Northern California. You don't have to go to LA or Southern Cal. And then we'll turn you back from there a couple times a week. So we got miles. Those guys are producing 500 to 600 miles a day. And we're maximizing the clock there. And so when I said not your traditional fleet, it's not your typical run all over the country, 14 days on, 2 days off, 7 days on, 1 day off, and you've earned this and that. No, we don't do that here. We keep it real. We keep it humane. You want to go home, we get you home. It's weekly home time, right? Run your 70-hour clock. We'll get you home for your 34. If you want to stay a little bit longer sometimes, fine, just communicate. We'll let you stay a little bit longer. And if you want to go home early, sometimes, we can do that as well. But keep in mind, guys, we got to, we got to still run, right? We got to perform, and we got to continue to move forward and produce those miles so you have healthy wages and we're able to continue to move the company forward.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff that you've told me already, we've got some I-5 corridor freight, we've got some regional freight, some local opportunities as well. But you were telling me earlier about a California-only fleet. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. So on the short regional side, we've got our Northwest regional fleet, right? That runs Washington and Oregon only, some Idaho, Spokane, and whatnot. Those guys are traditionally home every other day, sometimes every day. And then we've got our GP shuttle fleet that just stays in northern Oregon into central Oregon and back. And those guys are home every day to every other day, kind of a scenario there. And then we've got this new fleet that we're introducing in California. It's going to be a California regional fleet, and it's just going to run Northern California down to Southern California and back about 3 times a week with pass-through opportunities through the week, home weekly, get you home for your day and a half, 2 days occasionally if you'd like. But just run, up and down and stay in California.
All right. Well, let's jump in with some of the exciting reveals, starting with the regional fleets.
Yeah, that's right.
You have a pay announcement to make regarding that.
So I mentioned our over-the-road I-5 and Southwest regional fleets are doing 500-600 miles, right? Our Northwest regional and some of the other fleets, the regional fleets in California regional, quite frankly, let's be honest here, it's pretty hard to get 500-600 miles staying running through Portland, running through Southern California and some of the metros. So we understand that. So our regional fleets are typically running 350, 450 miles a day. So a little bit less than the over-the-road, heavy pedal to the metal guys. So we understand that. With that, we're introducing another 2 cents a mile on top of the base just for those 3 fleets. Northwest Regional, GP Shuttle, and this new California regional fleet that we're going to be introducing, because you're running a little bit less miles, but we want to take care of that and make sure you're still made whole and give you an extra 2 cents a mile for those.
Okay, that's fantastic. And so we've got 3 fleets, regional fleets. They're going to get additional 2 cents per mile. This new California-only fleet, our current Northwest regional fleet.
That's right.
And the GP Shuttle.
That's right.
Fantastic. All right, so there you go, the first announcement. Let's move on to our monthly bonus program.
Sure.
So this has already been up and running for a while now. We've enjoyed being able to award drivers with a monthly bonus. What that currently looks like, I'll go ahead and describe. 10,000 miles in a month. You get over 10,000 miles in a calendar month.
Right?
Safe miles. Right. Doing it within your available hours of service. You can't go out of bounds, otherwise you disqualify yourself. But if you go over 10,000 miles in a calendar month, safe miles, you get an additional 2 cents per mile currently. That's what we've been doing.
That's right. So if your month has 31 days, you get an extra day to rack up some miles. And if it's got 28 days like February, we'll just run a little bit harder those 28 days, right?
That's right. That's right. Now, again, there's certain disqualifiers. If you bang up the equipment, if there's anything unsafe during that month, that's going to be a disqualifier, right?
Yeah, but for the most part, it's simple. We like to keep things simple. We don't want to overcomplicate it, have too many, math equations and whatnot. It's simple. You take care of our beautiful green trucks. You stay safe. Stay in good graces with the DOT. Don't get violations. Don't run over your hours. Don't bang up our equipment. We're going to give you your bonus. Simple as that.
And then we've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
And how much of the fleet would you say on a monthly basis is benefiting, is seeing this monthly bonus?
On the low end, the high 60s, 67, 68% of the fleet's hitting it. And on the high end, I've seen as high as 77, 78%. So, which is fantastic because we want to have these bonuses that are easily attainable. A lot of companies make their bonus, sound real good, but it's super hard to attain. We keep it simple. Every month, we're going to say, did they get the miles? Great. Were they safe? Great. Here's your bonus. And we pay that out second paycheck, I think, of every month, right?
That's right. That's right.
And that's 2 cents a mile.
So there's something happening with that as well. There's an announcement regarding the monthly bonus. You want to tell us more?
That's right. So you started this conversation about COVID and all that stuff, right? I don't even want to talk about COVID anymore. I'm so tired of it. Let's throw that out, right? So, but regardless, you guys are the heroes of America, right? We were the guys. You guys were the drivers that were out there delivering for America. So you guys are the true heroes. And so with that, we're introducing a hero pay surge bonus. It's crazy times right now. The freight volumes are nuts. So with that, we're able to get a little bit of a nugget from our customers to continue to take care of you guys. And we're going to be paying an additional 2 cents. Yeah, that's right. Additional 2 cents a month on your bonus. So that original bonus went from 2 to 4. That's right, 4 cents a mile. So what's that mean, Jamie? And we got drivers making 56 cents a mile, right?
That's right. Experienced drivers
making 56 cents a mile on their base. They were already hitting their 2 cents a mile, making 58. And now we're going to give them 60. Right?
That sounds all right.
Yeah, 60 cents a mile. How about that? 60 cents a mile for experienced drivers, earning up to 60 cents a mile, hitting 10,000 safe miles.
And there's also a longevity element. So
that's
folks
right.
that have tenure with the company, the longer they're with us.
Yeah, so for the original bonus, it's 2 cents a mile, and then we add a longevity. So if you've been here, once you're here at least a year, we're going to add a multiplier to that. So every year it goes up a little bit. So we've got drivers that have been here 7, 8 years or longer that are already on that 2 cent program, making 3.8, 3.7 cents a mile a month additional, right? So that's not changing. That's still going to be there. And on top of that, we're just adding that extra 2 cents. That's good through the end of the year. And at the end of the year, you will see us again several more times before the end of the year. I guarantee that. And we'll keep you guys posted. And if we're able to continue to, keep things moving forward, and continue to deliver freight for our customers, then we'll keep extending that. I want to extend that. I want to make it a permanent thing. You guys earn it. You guys deserved it.
All right. So if I'm understanding you correctly, we've already got a monthly bonus program, calendar month, over 10,000 miles a month. And you're telling me that of the drivers that are eligible to run this, approximately 70% of your guys are getting this. So the miles are there.
That's right.
And we're paying out 2 cents per mile, and we're going to double that.
That's right.
Fantastic.
That's
Sounds
right.
Amazing. All right. But that's not all. But wait, there's more. Let's talk a little bit about detention. So we mentioned this feedback loop.
I hate detention.
We got this feedback loop, and some of the pain points that our driving professionals are telling us about are delays at shippers and receivers.
Right.
We have a lot of drop and hook freight. That's one of the things I love about our freight mix. We've aligned ourselves up with some incredible shippers and receivers, a lot of drop and hook freight that drivers love. But it's not those that are the issue. It's the ones where we have live loads, live unloads, even lumper unloads, where there's lengthier delays. We want to do something there.
Yeah, and for our current driving force, you guys have seen it. We have gotten away from a lot of that, right? In the past, where maybe you were live loading, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, it's probably gone down to half. And some drivers are getting tons of drop and hooks. I get drivers coming in all the time, love their Washington, Arizona runs, and wherever, dropping and hooking both ways, and dropping, hooking, and booking, right? Mm-hmm. And so. But detention, it's we can't ignore it. It's there. It's always going to be there. It's a waste element. So we're going to try to do something to hopefully, take care of some of that, right? We can't, unfortunately, we earn more miles. I mean, we all earn more if the wheels are turning. Right. But to take care of some of that, what are we doing, Jamie?
Well, we currently pay it.
What are we doing now?
Right now, we currently pay it 2 hours. They get an hourly detention pay.
What's that rate?
It's $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And we cap it at max layover, which is about $150.
Yeah.
So you're not going to exceed that.
Which we don't run into a lot of detention.
Right.
We don't. So I'll just throw it out there. We don't run into a lot of detention. But when we do, it's there. So because of that, I've gone back to our customers, still twisting their arms and haven't won that, battle yet. But I'm gonna continue to fight that fight. But I want to take care of our driver, which is our most important customer. What we're doing is that detention pay that used to start at 2 hours. That's right. We were doing 2 to 4s right earlier. Mm-hmm. We're going from 2 to 1. Mm-hmm. So as long as you guys do your computer work, send in your macros, your arrival calls, that notifies the system to keep things going, right? And mark it on your trip sheet. Then we're going to now pay you, not $15, $20 an hour after 1 hour.
So we're bringing it back from 2 hours to 1.
Yep.
And we're bringing the rate up by $5 an hour.
That's right.
Well, that sounds incredible.
Yep. So keep in mind, we know you're not going to be rich off of detention, and we don't plan on that. We don't even want detention, but we understand things happen and there are detention. So when there is, we'll take care of you. $20 an hour after 1 hour. And just do your part. Send in your macros. Mark it on your paperwork, put it on a trip sheet. That way we can make sure you're paid out on it. Whether the customer pays us or not, I don't care. You're getting your money because that was your driving time, right?
Absolutely. So, and one other side note, that's not based on rounding up or down to the nearest hour. We pay it out to the quarter hour. So if you're there for an hour and a half, 5 hours and a half, 5 hours and 3/4, we can pay it out rounded to the nearest quarter hour to make it right.
That's right. That's right. So we don't like detention. We don't like
waiting.
What else? Stop-offs.
Stop-offs.
Yep.
So let's talk about stop-offs.
What's a stop-off?
Well, it's an additional pickup or it's an additional delivery in addition to the first and last.
Right.
And
how
most
often
of our
do we
freight,
have those?
Well, I was going to say most of our freight is one pick and one delivery.
Right, but we all know
majority.
we have at least that one customer that's given us a lot of other great freight, a lot of other opportunities all over the rest of the running space that we have. And they have some multiple stop freight to our favorite friends over at Costco, right? Mm-hmm. So we still got to service that. It's still, we can't just take all the good. We got to take some of the bad. So I don't think it's bad, but it does take up time, right? It does take up time. So what are we doing?
Well,
what are we doing now?
We want to take some of the pain out of it.
What are we doing now?
We currently give $15 for additional stop-offs.
Which was good when we started the business in 2006, right?
Yeah, but it's time for a change.
So what we've done, guys, that $15 an hour, we threw that out the window. Or $15 a stop, sorry. So now a stop charge has gone from 15 to 50. 50. And keep in mind, we don't like stop-offs, we don't like detention, but those things are going to happen. So we can't just look the other way. We gotta take care of the issue. So $50 an hour. $50 a stop.
Right.
After the first stop, and that's automatic. You don't have to do anything. If your load has 2 stops, you're gonna get $50. So that should take care of that problem. Hopefully, that relieves some of the pain, and we get that freight delivered. Because at the end of the day, we still got to take care of that. Absolutely,
and that's a huge shift. All right. So moving on from detention and stop off, let's talk a little bit about healthcare. Healthcare.
I don't like these topics.
Increasing costs of healthcare every year.
Yeah.
So drivers have pain points. We, as an employer, have some pain points as well. And the rising costs of healthcare continue to be among those conversations.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So what we're doing, we're gonna take it on, right? So right now, we pay 75% of the premium of our employee, right? Drivers, non-drivers, whatever. All of them. We pay 75% of your premium. Mm-hmm. But if you bring on family members or kids or spouses, whatever, we don't cover those. And those could get really costly. Mm-hmm. So that was another piece of feedback that we were getting quite a bit, right? And unfortunately, we weren't able to do much with that in the past because, we're growing. We're putting a lot of money back into the company to continue to invest and grow and have good opportunities for our drivers. So, but time has come. Thanks to every one of you guys out there, we're able to do something about that too. So, I was actually talking to some of my my trucking industry friends, right, with other trucking companies, larger and smaller, and I was telling them my idea, and they thought I was nuts. They said, "How can you afford that? That's not possible." Whatever. So, and they were like, "Well, why don't you just look for drivers that don't have." Don't have dependents on them. So yeah, I guess we could do that, but we're a family here. We don't do that. So
absolutely,
we want people to join the family and feel like a family. So with that, What we're doing now is we're going to pay 75% of everything. So if you got a child, multiple children, if you got a spouse, you got entire family coming on, we're going to pay 75% of that premium. And just quick math for everybody. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it was fairly large, right, for a family. And that's going down significantly. So reach out to Driver Services. They can give you more details on that. But for just from a cents per mile comparison, we're doing some number crunching. If you've got an entire family on and you're running approximately 2,500 miles a week on average, you're going to be able to save 9 cents. It's equivalent to a 9-cent a mile raise.
Yeah, so if you've already got those dependents and
We'll continue to do that, but in the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and take care of it. We're going to go ahead and cover those 75% of those. So that'll go into effect here pretty quickly.
well, that's a monumental deal. So staying on the healthcare and benefits conversation, we also decided to do something with the 401k.
That's right. So
Are you currently investing in your 401k future?
If not, you should be.
You really should be, especially now.
So we've had a 401k for a number of years now. However, we weren't able to, do some kind of a company match. Wanted to get it rolling and have it out there. So going back to the same thing, right? Just growing pains and just growing as a company. But, 15 years later here, we're able to have a match. So we're going to be matching 3% of this year's contributions, Q1 of next year. So if you haven't yet, join, contribute, and we'll be doing a 3% match coming up here in Q1 of next year for all of this year's contributions.
All right. That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about vacation pay, because we were talking about some of the feedback that the drivers were giving us. Vacation pay seemed to be a little bit of a pain point.
That's right.
And that's something we're still talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still working on that. We got some system stuff we need to work on to easily calculate that. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to make some announcements there as well. I'm sure we'll see you back here, and just stay tuned on there. We heard, we want to let you know that we are hearing you guys, and we are working on evaluating our vacation pay as well to beef that up and make it better, and for all of our drivers as well, all of our employees in general.
All right, we've talked about a lot of items so far. I'd like to roll out the timeline for some of these things, because you might be hearing some of this, 2 cent per mile, this hero pay, this monthly bonus, detention and stop-off pay. When are we going to see some of these things? I mean, it's already...
Next week.
Can you repeat that a little bit louder?
Next week.
And into the microphone.
Next week.
All right, have you cleared this with Human Resources?
Hope so.
So next week, that includes stop-off pay.
Yep.
That includes detention.
That's right.
That includes this hero surge pay for part of that bonus.
Well, that's going to go into effect for the month of August, yeah.
For the month of August going forward. That includes this new fleet we've talked about, and the health care as well.
That's right.
All right. And
so next month's premiums, I'm going to take care of 75% of all of them.
All right. And you already said the 401k thing is something that's going to happen at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's coming next year for all the contributions this year. So it's already in effect, you can say.
So essentially, all of that stuff is happening next week.